Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Leo Master. Welcome back to another Overwatch League news video. And today we have got massive news surrounding the San Francisco Shock. A lot of things has happened in the past day with San Francisco Shock all around. That's all we're going to talk about today is the Shock. Big news, concerning news, I feel like, but could be good news for a few people, bad news, obviously, for everyone that is fans of the Shock and in the league in general, too. So basically, you guys did not see, Shock has officially announced that Striker is retiring from the league. They didn't really say it that well in the tweet, but basically, Striker is retired. He said it. A lot of other people that worked with him have said he's retired. Striker has retired. And when I first woke up and I saw the tweet, I thought they released him, which would have been a surprising thing. That's what I first assumed when I first saw the tweet, put more research into it. He retired. It's just a crazy thing to see that happen. I don't know what happened behind the scenes of Striker, choosing the retirement. If he wanted to do it, perfect. He had to do it. He got burnt out. What was needed, he needed to retire. It sucks to see him gone because I think Striker was potentially the best player in the league even this season. Like, he was still dominating on the San Francisco Shock with the team not doing as good per usual from like season 2 and season 3, but Striker was still dominating in that hits game role part, playing the Reaper, Tracer, everything that Striker played normally. His previous seasons, even back on Boston Uprising, he still dominated on the Shock. Even in a rough season that this year has been for the Shock, he's still been doing good. And after this, we thought, hey, maybe it's time for Glister to finally shine on the San Francisco Shock. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see that last that long. We really didn't get to see it last that long. I thought Glister was gonna have that playtime finally, but we did not see it. Basically, hours after this, San Francisco Shock has announced that they have signed back Ance. He's back in the Overwatch League. I guess he didn't have that good of a time in Valorant. I heard he went through a lot of changes in Valorant, things that ended up really working out for him on the T1 team, whatever that was. But he's back now in the Overwatch League, playing for the Shock once again, and he's hopefully going to do well. I mean, I don't know. I don't have high hopes. I have not seen Ance play the game in a minute. Last time I checked, I did a little bit of research. He was still playing Valorant recently. So we'll see the transition with Ance going back to Overwatch. I mean, maybe he did a tryout. That's why they signed him again. They didn't just sign him to sign him. There was definitely a big part of it. And I think Ance was on a break, but he did retire. But he's back for the Shock too. I don't know. There's a lot of things to go in with this because Ance, we haven't seen him really play the game professionally in a year, which for some people may not be that big of a deal, but it really is because a lot of improvement has happened with players, meta changes, all of that has happened within just a couple of months since the last time he's really played. So will he adjust to the game? He definitely will. He's a professional player. He'll adjust to the game pretty fast, but we'll see what really happens when it comes to playing on the Shock and playing on this team and them not being in as good a position as they were last year too. And losing Striker is also another big thing. You lose a really strong hits game player that was a very consistent player as well. You losing the Tracer, you losing the Reaper. And yes, you have Glister still there, but who knows if they're even going to use it anymore. I mean, they may want 4 DPS players, which could be completely fine. That's why they sign Ance back. But I'd love to see Glister actually have a really true chance to show if he's good or not. Now, yes, he did show occasional performances when he last played on like a map from Dorado, played as Widow, occasionally some other hit scans as well. He proved himself on that map. Now, I'd love to see him play a little bit more. It sucks to see that, Ance got signed again. I mean, I love Ance. I love that Ance is coming back, but we didn't get to see Glister really perform consistently again. And like I said, maybe it will. Maybe Ance is going to be on the bench for a little bit, warm him up on the bench, and then bring him in, while Glister is going to play for maybe a couple of weekends, and then Ance comes back in. I don't know. It's a lot of things to go in with this one. A lot of people wanted to see Gosby come to this team right after Striker got released because of Gosby got released on the Hangzhou Spark. And I'm going to make a whole nother video talking about Gosby in the future, and hopefully I make it on time too, where a team does not sign him, because I have a pretty cool video idea for Gosby, and hopefully it's like a series later in the future. So with this being said, that's going to be it for the video. I know it's very short, but it is a big deal with the San Francisco Shock. Striker retiring and losing that super consistent of a hits game player now gone, and you have a San Francisco Shock signing Ance back too, which is a very big deal. But I'm very interested to see how it works out. I do not have high hopes for it just yet, but anything is possible with the Shock and how they do. Krusty's still there. Agape was recently released too. They still have their coaches that they had previously, like Azores. I'm very interested to see what the Shock are going to do in the future with this, because there could be some good things, but there also could be some inconsistency issues with Ance coming back, not having Striker anymore. Is Glister going to perform to the level? How is a couple of the other teammates going to react to this? How are they going to adapt to it? There's a lot of things that are going to happen here, but you still have Krusty. Even though Shock are not in good spots they were in the previous years, Krusty is still a fantastic coach. So with that being said, what are you guys' thoughts on these huge changes all around in the comments below? And what guys, it's gonna be for me. If you guys want to stay more in tune to Overwatch League news and Overwatch League stuff in general, don't forget to subscribe down below. Also, don't forget to join my Discord down below as well. Don't forget to follow my Twitter and my Twitch. And don't forget to hit that bell, and don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.